What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Triple Threat Show. As always, I'm your host, Marav Temi. Join you. First and foremost, happy Easter to everyone out there. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If you're celebrating, going to church, enjoying your day with your friends and family. But I'm back out today. Quick show. Second off, I guess. I apologize. I wasn't here yesterday. I was out with my parents. I wasn't able to get back to the show before I head off to work, but we're back today. The grind don't stop. And yes, I'm wearing the Seahawks shirt. We'll have this shirt back out as we get into NFL offseason. We're not talking about a whole lot of NFL today. Today is straight basketball. I'll talk a little bit of hockey because hockey's still, we're getting really close to the playoffs here. But a big time basketball show coming your way. We got the men's Final Four to talk about. Men's National Championship, UConn, Michigan is set. The women's National Championship later tonight is set between South Carolina and UCLA. We'll go through both of their Final Fours. The Lakers lose another star player. They're getting cooked left and right, now sitting with a 42-year-old LeBron James as their best player, looking like the second coming of the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 2018. You saw a prime matchup. There's a real case that the best game that we saw yesterday in the game of basketball, the best basketball game we saw was not in college basketball. It was in the NBA between the Denver Nuggets and the San Antonio Spurs. It was Nikola Jokic versus Victor Wembanyama. It was the two titans in the MVP race clashing and going at one another once again. We're going to go over all of that, talk about some college football, talk about some college basketball, talk about some hockey. Before I move any further, drop a like, drop a follow, follow here on YouTube. Drop a follow on our TikTok at Boston Sports Takes. You can follow me and find all my content there. I try to go post videos daily, at least every other day, at the very least. But yeah, I'm not going to hold you guys any further. We need to get into this show, and we need to go right now. The men's Final Four. If you guys don't know, unless you guys are sleeping under a rock, we saw two big time games in the men's Final Four last night. Yeah, one of them was close. The other one was a little bit more of a blowout. But this is the men's Final Four. This is how it goes. These are the four final teams sitting after the 64-man team tournament that started in the middle of March. It's crazy. It's been 3 weeks of the NCAA tournament so far. That's what I'm saying. When the NCAA tournament starts, time just starts flying. You have Easter, then you get the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, all kicking off at the same time between mid-March to mid-June. Goes by in a blink. But we're here right now. First game that took place, Illinois versus UConn. What else can you say other than how good is Danny Hurley? How good is Danny Hurley's squad? How good is Terrace Reed with recording another double-double, going up against one of the best centers or power forwards, you should say, in the NCAA right now with David Mirkovich. He's been an absolute tank. These two behemoths went at it, and Terrace Reed got the best of him, going for 17 and 11 in this one. Solo ball continuing to do his thing. Braylon Mullins going 4 for 7 from three-point range. He was a big-time shooter in this one. Alex Caravan continued to do what he's doing, being a defensive star, being just the leader of the squad. This team continues to prove why talent isn't just the biggest reason why you win in the game of basketball. You have a team in UConn, and we'll get into the other game in a second, but this team in UConn is so underrated. A team that wasn't even first of all, I didn't think was going to make it out of the round of 32. A team a lot of people thought wasn't even supposed to get past Duke and the Elite Eight. Now finds themselves in the national championship game for the third time in 4 years. And it's all in the Danny Hurley era. Dan Hurley is going to go down as, if he goes and wins this championship, he's going to go down as one of the best NCAA coaches of all time. If he's not already in that conversation, he has to be at some point. With what he's done with this roster, with what he's done with this team, time and time again with new players, sending them into the NBA, bringing them out of high school, just scouting them. He does it all, and he has a great. He sets up the staff to do what they do as well. So at the same time, they deserve a lot of credit as well. But this man continues to do it time and time again. And UConn now once again finds themselves in the national championship game. On the other side, what I like to think, if the best way to describe what the Final Four yesterday, it's just like the NFL. And this is for a lot of the people that aren't following basketball and follow football. You get the AFC Championship game that we saw last year. I don't even remember. It was the Broncos and the Patriots. You saw the Broncos put up 3 points. You saw the Patriots put up 10 points or 13 points, whatever they put up. And that was the final. It was like 13-3. That was the AFC Championship game. Versus the other side of the NFC Championship, you got the Seahawks versus the Rams. This is what it was in the Final Four. Michigan and Arizona was the equivalent of that. Now, I will say it wasn't as exciting as we thought it was going to be. We knew how good both of these teams were going into it. The two best teams, which should have been the national championship game, definitively the two best teams in college basketball right now. And yes, UConn deserves to be in the conversation. They're in the national championship. But Michigan and Arizona have gone and been the two best teams year-round through the NCAA. Not just the tournament, through the regular season, all the way through up through the conference tournament, all the way up through the tournament so far. Arizona walks into this one. They'd beaten Arkansas. They'd beaten Utah State. They'd beaten some of the best teams in that. They'd beaten Purdue. They beat Houston. And they go up against a Michigan squad who's also beaten Alabama, Tennessee, St. Louis. They lost to Purdue in the Big Ten tournament game. And they find themselves against Arizona. This is a team in Michigan that a lot of people have said they're being slept on. They're a team that nobody is expecting to. Well, they're expected, but they struggled in the tournament. That they're just waiting for a bad game to happen to them, and when they could just crumble. Addie Mara, goes off for 26 points in this one. Morris Johnson with 10 points. Elliot Cadeau with 13 points and 10 assists. Yaxel Lendenberg with 11 points. This team gave Arizona everything they could handle and routed them by 18 points. And you saw the coach come out in the post game and say, "Why was Yaxel Lendenberg still in the game with 5 minutes to go? You guys were up by like 15 points. Why do you still have him?" He goes, "You guys see what UConn did to Duke? That's the team that we're about to face in the next round. We have to be locked in. We need all of our players to continue to play all the way up through the buzzer and not take their foot off the gas pedal. Or else a team like UConn, all they need is a spark, and it can become a wildfire, and you lose your lead." That's what happened to Duke at halftime when they lost a 19-point lead going into half. The largest lead for a number one seed in Elite Eight history to fall. I probably explained that horribly. But yeah, no, it was a crazy turn of events. The way that Michigan played in this one, the way that Arizona fell in this one. This is a team in Arizona. I thought whoever was going to beat, I had Arkansas winning the entire tournament. That was just my pick, just because of how good Daniel Cuff was all through the regular season and the tournament, the SEC tournament. But what Arizona did to them, I didn't think anybody would beat them, especially with their size, their fervor, the way they've been playing. Braden Burries needs to be studied, going 2 for 10 from three-point range as well. At some point or another, you need to know when to not shoot the three, when to start going to the rack, putting in layups, trying to get to the free throw line. It's not your day shooting. Stop shooting the three. Yes, shooters shoot, but this is the NCAA tournament. When your shot stops falling from three-point range, from long distance, you just got to get to the layup line, get to the free throw line, just see some baskets go in. And then if you wanted to go back to the three, I'm fine with that. But to just go 4 of 16, to go 2 of 10 from three, only to shoot 6 mid-range shots, you need to know better than that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say about that. But we are now set up with Michigan and UConn tomorrow in a big-time national championship game. I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot right now just because I want to let the moment sit. And also, we have a packed show. We need to switch over to the women's side of things. We saw women's Final Four on Saturday, or on Friday, with the championship game now set up for today. That's the big-time story that we're going into today. that we need to talk about. Women's Final Four. The first game is really the one that we need to talk about. Yes, Texas being held to 44 points is big time. The block by Lauren Betts to ice that game was huge. And all of that is crucial. UCLA, big time game, big time win for them to find themselves in the national championship game. But my eyes, my mind, everything is going. It's not only just because of the hype. It's just because of what happened in the game. My eyes are still set on what happened between South Carolina and UConn. And if you guys don't know a whole lot about women's basketball, let me set the scene. Dawn Staley is one of the most winning head coaches, not only of just women's basketball, of sports in general. I don't know how many championships she has. She has a lot. How many championships does Dawn Staley have? I'm curious. It's more than 4. She has 3 NCAA championships, 7 Final Four appearances, 9 SEC titles, and has won the Coach of the Year 4 different times. 4 times. And all 4 times have been since 2020. She now finds herself in the NCAA championship game once again for the first time since 2024. That's South Carolina. On the other side, you have Jean Auriemma, who's been the head coach of this team for years, literally decades, has been the head coach of the team for almost 15 years now. UConn was on a 54-game win streak. 54-game win streak. That dates back to last year. They were 38-0 all year long. Dating back to last year, they had in 2024, they had not lost a single basketball game throughout the regular season, throughout the tournament, a whole way through. And in the Final Four, when your team needs you most, so to speak, Sarah Strong had possibly her worst game throughout the whole regular season. Shoots 4 of 16. Doesn't shoot between the 5-minute mark of the first half, all the way through the midway point in the second half. This girl didn't even put up a single basket. She was on she's gone 2 of 8 from the field, all game long up until the fourth quarter. Second half, excuse me, midway through the second half. She just, well, no, actually no, it is the fourth quarter because there's quarters and I'm so lost today. Just the way that she's playing, the way that you needed her to play, you needed her to show up when you needed her most. And she was good defensively. She put up 3 steals, 2 blocks, was playing really well, picked up 12 rebounds. But you needed her to put up more points offensively, and you needed her to show up offensively. Her, Azzy Fudd going 3 of 15, Ashlyn Shade going 5 of 11, Kaylin Heckel going 2 of 8. Nobody was shooting the ball well. And at some point, yes, that goes back to South Carolina for the way that they played, for the way that they locked that UConn squad defensively. That goes down to Joyce Edwards, who had 3 steals in this game. Raven Johnson with 2 steals. It goes down to the people that play defense on the other side, and they deserve the credit. But I'm also looking at them offensively in South Carolina. Tania Latson, which I said was who needed to have a big-time game if South Carolina wanted to have a chance in this one, has 16 points, goes 10 of 10 from the free throw line with 11 rebounds, It's Tessa Johnson with 10 points. It's Agate McKeer with 14 points. Joyce Edwards put in another 11 as well. The Gamecocks showed up in this one. And the Huskies, I'm not saying they didn't show up, but they didn't show up with their best shooting night. South Carolina took advantage, and you're looking at South Carolina now going up against UCLA in a big-time matchup to set whoever's going to set the queen of the women's college basketball. That's what it sets up to be. And these teams are going to be the best. These 2 are the best teams in the league. They've proved it time and time again. Yes, I was doubting UCLA against Texas only because Texas is one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. But when you have a Texas team and Madison Booker that goes 3 of 23 from the field, Rory Harmon goes 4 of 11. Nobody can make a basket. There were two 3-point shots made the entire night for Texas. They went 2 of 9 from 3-point range. That is so unlike them. 20 of 65 from the field. 30% from the field. They only shot 5 free throws. They got out-rebounded 36-28. And this is a UCLA team that turned the ball over 22 times. It was just a messy game on both sides. Texas couldn't make a basket. UCLA was turning it over every time they got the opportunity. And Lauren Betts was just the final nail in the coffin. When they were down, when UCLA was up by 4 points, 5 points, and Madison Booker went down the lane to put up a layup, and it was just swatted away by Lauren Betts. She proved it with going up with 3 blocks in this game. She was the best player on the floor, and when they needed it most, she pulled UCLA through, and they're going up against South Carolina. I'm going to pick South Carolina in this game. I'm going with the experience of Dawn Staley and her squad. They deserve all the credit in the world with the way that they've played. Shout out Lulu Keeson. I know she's going to be covering the game, so if you guys are going to be are looking into more women's college basketball, not just credit, but more info, check out her content with the Green Lawn News. She knows all of her stuff. Used to work with her back in college. She was phenomenal back in the day. But, yeah, South Carolina, give me the Gamecocks to take down UCLA and the Bruins in a big-time game in the national championship game. Also, really quick, I apologize for my energy today. I'm super tired. I've been put through the ringer with work recently, so this is not going to be my best show. So I hope anybody that's watching this is sticking with me through this, because this is not. We're just taking this one day at a time, one step at a time, one topic at a time. You know, college basketball is, if you guys are new to the Triple Threat Show, you know college basketball is not my forte. So we're going to switch gears over to the NBA. And where else do we start? There are 2 places we could start. I'm going to start with the game that happened yesterday, because I think that's more current news. But both of these topics are going to be big-time stuff, so stay tuned. Wemby goes up against Jokic. 2 of the MVP frontrunners. Wemby's my MVP frontrunner, going up against Jokic, who's a 2-time MVP, NBA champion, continues to lead that Denver Nuggets squad with the Titan that he is, the numbers that he continues to put up with the Nuggets. He put up 40 points last night. 40. 4-0 up against Victor Wembanyama, who's arguably the defensive player of the year. Has 48 and 13 in an overtime win for the Denver Nuggets. And when this team needed him most, with under 50 seconds left to play in the game, Jokic goes up with a fadeaway jumper over Wembanyama to ice the game, to put it on ice, to end it. That's what this Nuggets team is. I still think the Spurs are going to go on a run and win they're going to win the Western Conference, and ultimately I think they're going to win the entire NBA. I think they're going to win the NBA Finals. But at some point or another, you need to look at Nikola Jokic and say, he's going to say something about this. There's nobody that's a bigger threat to the San Antonio Spurs right now than the Denver Nuggets. Not the Oklahoma City Thunder. It is the Denver Nuggets. It is Nikola Jokic. It is a man that can step up to Victor Wembanyama and force him to defend, to force him to go up against a big body, a guy that puts 40 pounds on Wembanyama. I don't care about height. Weight beats height every single time. Every time. I'm talking about a guy in Nikola Jokic that went to the line 15 times last night. A guy that put up 25 shots. Didn't even have a good night shooting the 3 ball. Went 1 of 5 from 3. Had 3 blocks. Nikola Jokic. Going up against Victor Wembanyama. Wemby is a phenomenal player. He still put up 34 and 18 in this game. This is also a Spurs team, might I say, that was up 15 points in the second quarter. And this Nuggets team climbed all the way back. It was just an absolute thriller of a game. Both of these teams gave each other everything they could handle. But it's the Nuggets that deserve the credit in this one, that deserve all the flowers for what they did. Stephon Castle, foul it out in this game. This is going to be something that we're going to need to watch. And at the same time, between all of this, between everything I just mentioned, Jamal Murray only puts up 15 points in this game. And you're telling me the Nuggets won? You're telling me the Nuggets won a game with Jamal Murray putting up 15 points against the San Antonio Spurs? When you have Christian Braun able to put up 21 points, you're going to win games. You're going to win. He shot 5 of 11 from 3. Crucial numbers from him. Cam Johnson going 4 of 8. But it is the shooting of Jamal. It is the playmaking of Jamal Murray with 10 assists in this one that deserves all the credit. They deserve all the props in the world for the way that they played tonight, or last night, I should say. Because without the play of Jokic, without the play of Christian Braun, Cam Johnson, even Jamal Murray with his playmaking, it is collectively how this team comes together sometimes and gets wins. You don't win this game without those players. You don't. Against a really good Spurs team. Stephon Castle did foul out of this game, so I think that is something that we need to point out. He didn't play a single minute of overtime. But nonetheless, these two teams do square off one last time in the final game of the regular season, 8:30, Sunday, April 12th, a week from today. We will see these two teams square off once again. I can't wait to see it. I really can't. These are two teams that are going to see each other in the NBA playoffs. It is going to be a sight to see. It is going to be a sight to see in the second round, in the conference semifinals, when these two teams play each other. But I digress. That is all I really want to talk about with these two teams. The Spurs now sitting 3 games behind the Thunder. The Thunder have now pretty much locked up the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. I'm not saying they have nothing to play for, but this is a Thunder team with the Lakers, which we'll get to in a second, the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Suns and the Jazz left on their schedule. And arguably, the Nuggets are probably their toughest competition. The Nuggets are going to go out there and probably win that game. I think the second the Thunder lock up the number 1 seed, they're going to sit SGA. They're going to sit Jalen Williams, sit Chet Holmgren, sit all of their starters that they need to play. Because this is a Thunder team that is not going to mess around with another injury. They've been injured all year long. They are not going to mess with a single other injury. Meanwhile, the Nuggets are still fighting for the number 3 seed with the Lakers. And I'm going to pivot right there because that is a perfect turning point. The Lakers are my next other topic of the day in the NBA, because we are now seeing the 2018 Cleveland Cavaliers in full-fledged once again. And I'm not saying LeBron James is 36 years old. This is 8 years in the future. That's crazy. 8 years. 8 years since LeBron James went on that run to the NBA Finals with that Cleveland Cavaliers squad. He's now 41 years old, no longer 34. Going up against, he's going up against all odds. Luka Doncic now out for at least the remainder of the regular season, if not half the first round. If not, I think the rest of the first round. You now lose Austin Reeves. I came on here on whatever day, Friday, whatever day the Lakers, or Saturday, I think it was Friday morning, and I said, if you didn't watch that game, it wasn't just Luka that got hurt in that game. Austin Reeves got hurt in that first quarter, and he was holding his back. I was literally watching the game, and I'm saying, Austin Reeves is holding his back every single play. And then immediately after, Luka Doncic holds his hamstring. The only problem is Luka actually went out in that game. Austin Reeves is now listed with a grade 2 oblique strain that is not only going to keep him out the remainder of the first round, not only going to keep him out the remainder of the regular season, remainder of the first round, possibly the entire playoffs. And if you don't know, there is nobody else offensively that can play basketball on this Lakers team. And I mean that with all due respect. Your next best player is LeBron James, who's 41 years old. After that, your next best player is DeAndre Ayton, and Rui Hachimura, and Luke Kennard, and Bronny James, and Jackson Hayes, and Jake LaRavia. If you're a Lakers fan, you are cooked. I'm sorry, all Lakers to all Lakers fans, I'm talking to you right now. Pack the bags. Honestly, if you have a second team, jump on the bandwagon, bro. It's not worth it. I promise it's not worth it to watch this team. It is not worth to see not the crumbling that is about to happen in LA with the Lakers. It starts tonight against the Dallas Mavericks, and it goes up until they play the Thunder, the Warriors, the Suns, and the Jazz to close the season. This team could find themselves all the way down in the 5 seed when it's all said and done. And yeah, you might go up against the Rockets, but you're not going to beat the Rockets without Luka. You're not even going to beat the Rockets if you had Austin Reeves. Kevin Durant and Alperen Şengün are really good. I just thought Luka Doncic would be too much for them offensively to keep up in a track meet kind of a game. And even then, I don't know if they would have won that series. This Lakers team is cooked. They're going to get swept in the first round. I don't think Luka is coming back. And even if Luka came back, they're going to get. He might give them one. He might win one game for them in the playoffs. But this team is not going anywhere. Not with both. Not with. If they had Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, they had their ceiling was second round. It was a second round exit. Truly. I'm going to leave it at that because I could sit here and yap about this all day. It's just the state of the Western Conference is crazy, but the Lakers are absolutely cooked. They're cooked. They're done. I wouldn't want to be a fan of them right now. And unfortunately, yeah, you stick with the squad. You stay with the sinking ship. I respect it if you do it, but they're a sinking ship. They're not going to win another. I don't think they might beat the Jazz to close out the year. They might beat the Mavericks. I don't even think they'll beat the Mavericks today. Cooper Flag will probably put up 50 points on this team again, win, and they might go out there and beat the Jazz to close out the season. I don't know. They'll make the playoffs. They're already locked in for a playoff spot, but they're not going to win a single game in the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. Meanwhile, the Nuggets, like I didn't even mention this, they're on an 8-game win streak. The Rockets are on a 5-game win streak. Both of those teams are hunting for the Lakers spot right now. I thought the Timberwolves would be in the mix. I still think they can be in the mix. They're just on a 2-game skid, losing to the 76ers on the night of a back-to-back, losing to the Detroit Pistons. Meanwhile, Anthony Edwards did not play in either of those games. So, at what point do you give them a pass? I'm willing to give them a pass at this point for both of those games personally. They're going to probably win the rest of their games. They got the Rockets, which is a big-time game next Friday. That's going to be a game that we are all going to watch. It's probably going to determine a lot of playoff seeding. But the Lakers are going to fall to at least the 5, if not the 6 spot in the Western Conference, I think, with what's happened. After that, that's all I got for the NBA. That's all I got. So we've gone through college basketball. We've gone through the NBA. The rest of these topics I'm going to be talking about for the rest of the day. Oh, actually, something I completely passed up on. Pistons actually locked up the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They are now ready for a big-time playoff run as soon as Cade Cunningham comes back. Jalen Duren. I guess we can talk about this real quick. Jalen Duren averaging 25 points a game, still averaging double-digit rebounds. Daniil Jenkins taking the reins offensively. Kevin Huerter still shooting the lights out. This team is putting pieces together, and honestly, Cade Cunningham going out might have been a blessing in disguise because Cade Cunningham was running the offense so independently. The offense was running through him at all times that now that he's out, you're having other guys step up, find their offensive identity. Jalen Duren, like I said, is getting better in the paint. When Cade Cunningham comes back, it's not going to hurt this team. It's going to make them better. This team is honestly gearing up for a finals run. It is a 2-man race in the Eastern Conference with the Celtics and the Pistons. Shout out my boy Nolan Jambor. We are going to be going head-to-head in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm hoping for a long 7-game dogfight of a series that keeps us locked in every single possession. And I think that's what we're going to get. It is going to be a fun conference finals on both sides. Yeah, the first couple of rounds might be rough in the Eastern Conference, but you deal with it. The Eastern Conference Finals are set up to be one of the best. As long as both teams stay healthy, it's going to be the Celtics and the Pistons. And both of these teams are going to be locked in. The Pistons now have the number 1 seed as well, so they're going to have a home court advantage in that series, whoever they play, even if it's not the Celtics. But it's all about who they come out and play against in the first round. And we'll get into that. I said if they get their toughest competition is the Hornets. So hopefully, as long as they don't play the Hornets, they'll be fine, I think. If they play the Hornets, that's something that we're going to have to get into on a later show, because we got a lot to talk about. Also, I didn't even mention this. They're 8-2 in their last 10 without Cade Cunningham. Or actually, they're 9-2 now that they beat the Timberwolves last night. 9-2? Or they beat the Sixers last night, excuse me. Yeah, they're 9-2 in their last 10. Or 11 without Cade Cunningham. This is what we're talking about with the Detroit Pistons. They're ready to go. They're a well-oiled machine. They're not going to lose a single game, I don't think, for the rest of the season either. But yeah, that is what I got for the NBA. Truly, that's all I got for the NBA until we get to the index where we make NBA picks. I want to get to college football. And it's not just college football, it's college sports in general. Quick water break because my mouth is fucking dry. But let's get into it. Donald Trump, President Trump, whatever you want to call him. I'm not trying to get political. I'm in no mood. Signs an executive order. I wish I honestly got all the details of this. Signs an executive. I have it too. Signs the executive order for. Honestly, it's gonna change the entire game of college football. I don't know if it's gonna stay. That is something that we're gonna keep our eye on, because this is something that has already been rebutted against. A lot of people are saying that universities are going to take him to court, are going to find a way around this. If I could find the post, that would be phenomenal. I literally saw it. Shout out Football Forever if I could find the stinking post. I literally saw it yesterday. I cannot believe I can't find it now. This is the problem with missing a show, because now everything gets crammed into one and it makes things really, really tough sometimes. But yeah, basically he signs an executive order holding not only all teams back on, they're only allowing one or two transfers a season for college players. Players can only play college sports for 5 years. Five max. So no more redshirting, no more nonsense, no more of the Stephon Bennett's, like with Georgia, when he played with Georgia for like 8 years and joined the NFL when he was like 24 years old. I'm just going to look up. It's the first thing that pops up. So, shout out AP. We're going to read this right off AP.com. Shout out AP. This is not my language. Where is it? Yeah, he's called federal agencies to ensure that these schools follow the rules, and threatened choke off federal grants. He threatened like UPenn or something on something like that. And some of this goes into transgenders in sports. Some of this I'm not going to get into because it gets way too political, way too quick. But there is something. I love how I can't find it now. Maybe it was Yahoo Sports that posted it. This is what it. Yeah, thank you. I found it. It does. It prohibits. It limits some of the funding for the NIL. So some of the money that some of these teams are paying their players is no longer going to be happening. Some of their booster clubs that take a lot of fundraising for their players, that ain't going to happen as much anymore. Like I said, you're only allowed to transfer once a year. And honestly, I'm going to put a pin in this now. I probably should have put a pin in this as soon as for the 3 minutes ago. I should have. I apologize if you guys are watching this and are just like, Rob, what are you doing? And I'm probably not going to edit it out either. I'm going to put a pin in this now. This is something I'm going to mark. And in tomorrow's show, when we actually get all the details, I apologize, we will come back to this topic and we will talk about it in full-fledged. This is something that I know Jeremy and Nolan will have their opinion on as well, so hopefully I'll try to have them on tomorrow as well so we can talk a little bit about this. But that is something I'm going to put a pin in just for now, just so we can take a sec and move on to the next step. This is also going to pivot. This is a perfect pivot to the next step. This is going back to college basketball. The NCAA, literally hours before the men's Final Four kicked off, said they're going to increase their NCAA March Madness format. It's already 64 teams. Guess what? Let's add 12 teams to it the first round. Honestly, it makes sense. With the first four being only four teams, this is only going to help the college basketball scene. This is only going to help the news, the level of intensity in every single game. It's going to make it more fun. It's going to make it more interesting. It's going to keep eyes on the screens for longer, bring more viewers in. This is only going to help college basketball. And they're going to be increasing their format to 76 teams. Like I said, there's only 12 teams a night in the first round. I think they're trying to increase it to 24. So make it, I think it's 12 games. They're now going to make it 18 games on each day. 18 on whatever, it starts on Thursdays. 18 games Thursday, 18 games Friday, and then it goes into a 24-team second round. It's going to make it really fun. It's going to make things better. It's probably going to add at least one round to the NCAA tournament. This is only going to make more money for the teams, make more money for the NCAA, bring in more revenue and build better matchups, more fun matchups, more anticipated matchups as we get deeper into the tournament. And it's just going to make it overall longer. If I'm being honest, this tournament isn't that long, especially with the first and second round back-to-back, especially with the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 back-to-back. It's going to make things more interesting, keep things flowing better. I think this is a good move by the NCAA, increasing their format to 76 teams. But yeah, so we've done that. Let's move on to our index because we do have a little bit of an index that we have to get to, but it's not too long. I want to start in the NHL with the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins falling to the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-1. This is a Boston show, so we're going to always talk about the Boston sports in the index. It's always going to happen. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. For my Boston people, follow up. I always got you guys. Bruins fall to the Lightning. And what was a big-time game last night? Why it was a big-time game? Because the Lightning and the Canadiens continue to get better. The Canadiens now jumping the Sabres. It's crazy. The Sabres now falling from 1 down to 3 in this Atlantic Division. The Bruins still sitting at 94 points with all of these teams now sitting at 100 plus. It's not a good time. It's not a good scene for the Bruins fighting to get out of that wild card spot. I know they're still sitting at the number 1 seed, but you don't want to stay there, especially with the Senators still nipping at your heels. They still have 88 points. You still have the Flyers, which we'll get to in a second. The Bruins now on a 2-game skid. After winning 4 in a row, they now are sitting on a 2-game skid, losing to both of the Florida teams and the Panthers and the Lightning. The Lightning they're going to see again in literally a week. Next Saturday, they will see them once again. So I am not worried about this whatsoever. And this game was also on the road. My issue with this Bruins team, they're 15-16 on the road. I don't even know their OT losses. I know they're just 15-16 on the road. What is their record on the road? They're 15, 16, and 7. Which, if you don't know, that's 7 losses. So technically, which I don't really like about the NHL, it's really they're 15-23 on the road. Like really, really, and you're telling me this is a Bruins team that we are still considering? Yes, they're really good at home. Yeah, they continue to play really well and have great records at home. But playoffs ain't always at home. You need to go out there and win road games. And they are staying on the road in a big-time matchup. I literally just talked about the Flyers nipping at their heels. They're 6 points behind, which is literally like 2.5 games. They get them on the road today in Philadelphia, which, mind you, the last time they played Philly, they lost to them. They lost to them 3-1 on February 28th. I was like, that was really February? It feels like yesterday, but it was February. It was the end of February. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a big-time game happening at 3:30 today. Everything's really kicking off at 3:30. The Celtics kick off at 3:30. The Bruins kicking off at 3:30. South Carolina, UCLA at 3:30. I don't know what else is happening at 3:30. You guys are probably hanging out after Easter Sunday, hanging out with your families. A lot of stuff are going on. But this is one of the marquee matchups that we're going to be keeping our eye on. And the Bruins now sitting, I think like I said, they're 6 points behind the Sabres for the number 3 seed. I don't think they're going to catch them. They gotta hope and pray they stay in that wild card spot, especially with their schedule coming up. We're going one game at a time. They get the Flyers today at 3:30. I'll be back tomorrow to recap how that game went. Other than that, Red Sox split their first home series, the opening 2026 series in Fenway against the Padres. They win opening day. They lose yesterday against the Padres 3-2. They get them for game 3 today. Can they get their first series win? That'll be a big-time matchup if they can get it done. That game kicking off at 1:35 in just about 3 hours here. That game will kick off in Fenway. They're still sitting at they're 2-6 right now, but if they can win their first series, that is a good step in the right direction, especially with the Brewers waiting for them tomorrow in their next series. Other than that, just going to give my NBA picks like I always do every single show. Today, we got a lot of them, so bear with me here, please. I don't know how I did. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I went 7-1. I went 8-1 yesterday or on Friday with my picks. I didn't even mention this. Cooper Flagg put up 51 points, by the way. Shout out Cooper Flagg. Continues to play really well. On Friday, he put up insane numbers. 19 of 30 from the field, 6 of 9 from three-point range. Full stat sheet, 3 steals, a block. The problem is, his next leading scorer was, you need your bench to show up, and your bench did show up with Brandon Williams and Klay Thompson. But outside of them, your next highest scorer was Max Christie with 14 points. He was also your next leading next leading player in minutes, with playing 28 minutes in this one. I like this Mavericks team. I love Cooper Flagg. I take that back. I love Cooper Flagg. I don't like this Mavericks team because they just don't have the depth anymore. When Kyrie Irving comes back, I think they can do some things. They'll make some noise to get back into the play-in tournament conversation, get into the lower parts of the Western Conference playoffs, seeding. But they need to – he's not coming back this regular season, but they need to get some more players around him. That's got to be their goal in Dallas. You have a good nucleus in Kyrie and Cooper Flagg. You have a dynamic duo. Just expand that a little bit more. Add some more shooters. Add some more small forwards. Add some more playmaking. Some more shot making. And you'll be okay. Not just 40-year-old or whatever old Klay Thompson is. I think he's like 38. My bad. He's not 40 yet. He's like 38. But add some more playmakers around this man. Get this guy some more scoring. The Mavericks will actually be a good team. But I went 7-1 on my picks. Or 8-1, on Friday. Today, Wizards Nets, I'm picking the Wizards. Suns Bulls, I'm picking the Suns. Back-to-back road teams. Grizzlies Bucks, I'm picking the Grizzlies as long as Giannis isn't playing. I don't think Giannis is playing, so I'm rolling with the Grizzlies in this one. Raptors, Celtics. I'm picking my Celtics at home. Pacers, Cavs. Big game. Pacers play everybody tough. I'm still rolling with the Cavs, though. Thunder. Excuse me. Magic, Pelicans. Give me the Magic, who have been playing red hot recently. They're going to be a team that we continue to keep our eye out on. Hornets, Timberwolves. As long as Anthony Edwards is not playing, I'm rolling with the Hornets on this team. They're really hot as well. But if Anthony Edwards is playing, I'm rolling with the Timberwolves. So keep that. So who do we pick? I'm rolling with the Hornets on this one. Lakers, Mavericks. Give me the Mavericks in this one. Clippers, Kings. Give me the Clippers. And the Rockets and the Warriors to close out the night. I'm pretty sure Steph Curry is making his return tonight. I can't believe I just remembered this because this is massive news and should have been talked about earlier. I apologize to everybody. This is what happens when I miss a show. I won't miss anymore, I promise. I'll try my best not to miss. But give me the Rockets and take that back. Give me the Warriors on this one with the way Brandon Podziemski has been playing, the way that this team has come together without Steph Curry. They've still played really good basketball. If you watch their box score, they play everybody tough. I really like the way that they've been playing on all levels. Kristaps Porzingis looks like he's got his shot back. LJ Cryer has gotten some minutes. Even Gui Santos, you saw against the Cavs, put up 25 points. As long as they keep their core nucleus playing well and you bring Steph Curry back, they'll be fine. They'll play really good. But it's going to be all about if they can keep that intensity, keep that level of play up. I'm going to say they will. Steph Curry's going to take some of those minutes, take some of those shots. But I'm rolling with Steph Curry and these boys to come back in Golden State and get a win against the Houston Rockets. That's my picks. I'm really tired. I'm still rolling the Seahawks shirt. Oh, I'm really sore. Gym's been going crazy recently. But I got to head to work in 30 minutes. Happy Easter, everyone. Drop a follow, drop a like, drop a comment. I apologize for how I started this show. Really, ever since I took a sip of that water break, I've really hit a stride here. And honestly, I'm just really tired. Work has been killing me recently. But I will be back tomorrow morning for another show. Hopefully, I'll have Jeremy and Nolan with me because I do really want to dive into that executive order. They know more about the rules side of things than I do. And I apologize for not being more prepared for this show. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.